Welcome in. It is day 313, and you're speaking with the Meeples Champion. And today, we're going to be going over a game that I had to wait what feels like an eternity to get. I actually had my mother back it for me on Kickstarter for my birthday. The mistake I made was I backed every expansion and not the base game. So when I jumped in, 6-7 weeks later to see when the delivery date was going to be, it turned out I had everything coming but the base, and I could no longer back the base. So I actually had to hunt down a store that had backed the project, pre-order the base game through them, and then because this is the luck that you get, I got in all of the stuff I backed like day 3. And they didn't get their stuff at their store until 6.5 weeks in. So I ended up getting my base game in about 7 weeks, maybe almost 8 weeks after I got in all my expansions and was just waiting to get to this game. The game is called Moonrakers. Now, Moonrakers is a brand new concept for me. Maybe this has been out there before, but I've just never seen a game quite like this. So you start your game off all with the same 10 cards, and you're going to have different colors associated to each one. And each card has a different style of action. One card is going to let you draw 2 more cards. One card is going to let you have a shield. One card is considered to be offensive. It's like weapons. It doesn't do anything. It's just what it's identified as. Another card is going to give you 2 additional actions. When you start the game off, you're setting up a boatload of cards in the center of your game. And you're going to have a bunch to the right, which are going to be the cards that you're trying to complete. These are your jobs. These are what the Moonrakers are out to do. You also have to your left a bunch of cards. Some of these are going to be ship upgrades, something that you can add to your ship. Now, if you add something to your ship, it's going to give you additional cards. So it'll be like, all right, you've added this particular piece. It's a green piece because it's going to help out with your shields. So now also grab 3 more shield cards and add them to your deck. Now, maybe they're 3 just basic shields, or maybe the next time you play a shield, if it's one of these shields, it's going to now be up 2 instead of a 1 power. You also can get special abilities on some of these, giving you some kind of an advantage for when certain types of things happen. Maybe it gives you a permanent -1 to any shield requirement. Up top, you're also going to have crew members, and that's going to do the same style of thing. These people that are going to be joining your crew, they're usually more about the ability, and they don't as often add as many cards. So the idea going in is you are trying to reach 10 points. The first person to do this wins the game. So you'll be on your turn, and you're going to go, okay, I think I want to go after a certain type of a mission. Well, this mission says I need 3 blue, 3 green, 2 orange. Well, it's going to be a little tough. Now, 3 blue is the cards that give you 2 actions. The 2 orange do nothing, and the 3 green are shields. It also has a reward posted on it, so it might say this is going to give you 3 points, it's going to give you 4 credits, aka money, and it's going to give you 2 threat dice. Now, you look at your hand and you go, okay, well, my starting 5 obviously isn't enough for this, and I've only got a single blue, so the likelihood of me using my action for 2 more actions, and then spending a card to draw 2 more cards, and hopefully draw a blue, that's a little tough. There's no guarantee I'm going to get this. So this is where the game really comes in. Now it's time to negotiate. You're all members of the crew. You're just trying to be the first one to reach 10 points. So you're going to have to reach out to one of your other members of the crew and see who will agree to join you. And you're going to end up saying to them, okay, here's our setup. I need to go on this. I'm not sure if I can get the card I need in order to continue forward. So who can join me? So at that point, what you're going to be after is you're looking for anybody who's going to be able to contribute, and you're going to be negotiating. So you might say to somebody, all right, I really need your help. What do you want? And they go, well, I've got 2 blues in my hand. I know I can get the additional actions, and that can take care of your blue problem. How are you looking elsewise? And you look at your stuff and you go, well, I have the blues, so there's our 3 blues. I also have 1 green, and I have 2 oranges in my hand. I also have a yellow, but it's not going to be any help here. They go, okay, well, you've got the oranges, you got 1 green, I've got 2 blues, I've got 1 green, I've got 2 yellows. So I can get the extra actions, I can get in there with the green, I need another one, but I'm going to have the ability to draw a bunch of cards as well. I think I can pull this off for you. Okay, we've agreed that we think we can do it. Now what? Now you have to figure out how to break down these resources. So you're going to go back and forth. All right, I really want the points, so I want 2. I'll give you 1. How about we split the money, we split the dice? And they go, well, I mean, you need me for this. I would prefer the points, so how about you give me the extra point, but I'll bump you up to 3 money. And then you look back at them and you're like, I really want the extra point. That's the whole reason I'm bringing you in for this. I think I can get that extra point. I still want the 2, but how about I give you all 4 money, but you're going to have to take both of those threat dice in that case. Finally, they go, okay, we're agreed. Now, once agreed upon, the first thing you do is the threat dice, and there is no going back on this. Whoever agreed to take the threat dice must roll them. The threat dice, 6-sided die. You either have 2 sides on each die that are nothing, 2 sides on each die that are 1, and 2 sides on each die that are 2. 1 or 2 means that you're getting hit once or twice, which means each shield can protect against a hit. So they already had 2 shields, so unless they get really unlucky and roll a 2 on one of these, they're going to most likely be fine. So they do that, and it has to be done. After that is where it gets interesting, because if there's a risk and they don't feel it's worth it, for instance, if they took the hit, if they rolled and they ended up getting 4 hits and they only had 2 die, and now they know, well, shoot, I'm going to end up losing the point I was going to get, they may decide it's not worth helping you. You know, oh, I took his dice. I'm not going to get the point I want. He's going to end up getting 2 points. I'll get the 4 money. Is it worth him getting 2 points for me to get 4 money? And you have to go through this in your head and make the decision. However, before anything happens with the partner, the first person to go is the lead character. So it's your turn, so you go. So you go, okay, I'm going to play a card for 2 more actions, because you only get 1 action to start your turn. Now you have 2 actions. A blue has been played, which means it's now minus off the requirement. Now you're playing a yellow. Draw 2 cards. Thank goodness, I got another blue. I'm going to play another blue. Now I've gone from my 1 action again up to 2 actions. 2 blue cards have been played. I'm now going to play with my with my other actions, 2 oranges. Okay, well, I got 2 blues, 2 oranges down. Let's see what this guy can do, and they continue. They finish up their turn. If you complete everything, you pay out all the stuff. And you always do it as such. You get paid out your winnings, and then you take the hits from your dice. So if you had made points, you'll now lose the points for all of the undefended shots you took. So you do that, and then whoever the active player is, they get to spend their money. So they can go spend credits up top and pick new crew members, pick new pieces to your ship. Then it passes to the next player. Now they're leading the crew. They make negotiation, and at the end of that turn, they get to spend their money. There's also the option to not go after something. You'll get an additional credit, and you can go and you can shop right away. And that'll just help it out so that, somebody who just doesn't feel confident enough can say, well, I'm going to go build myself up, make sure I can do this on my own. Well, that's the game, or at least the basic gist of the base game. So when we jump in, let's talk our 7 categories and see where this game lands for us. When it comes to the art, there's not a lot here, but that's not a bad thing. Less can be more. This box grabbed me. When I went on Kickstarter and I saw this image, it really attracted my eye. And it's the same as the inside. There's not a lot going on these cards, but they don't need there to be. They're setting the tone and the feel of space, and they have just enough to show off the pieces of your ship and your crew members. And I think that this does an amazingly good job. For me, it's one of the better boxes I've seen in a long time. Thumbs up. Your components. Your components are primarily cards. You have got boatloads of cards in this game. You also have a bunch of boards. You're going to have your individual board as well as 2 boards in the center that are going to be for tracking all of your different potential different crew members you can have, the different types of upgrades you can snag, what missions you can go on. I think that they do a good job on all of this of keeping it top quality, as well as obviously plastic ships to track you as you move up the scoring track. You have the dice, which are really well put together and it's a good design. I think this is really well put together. Thumbs up. Your price. As of right now, this game is not massively available, but it did very well on Kickstarter. I'm expecting to see this end up in stores. So, obviously I picked up my game. I actually got it through the store Victory Points game over in North Carolina. Even though I'm in Mass, they shipped it out my way. Now, you can go and you can find this in places. It got enough backing. It clearly was backed by stores and got on shelves. It's just not one I've seen yet, so I can't really judge how many stores it's in. That being said, I think the price is very good. You're paying probably about $60 for this game at the max, but it's worth that. It's such a good quality game. The inserts to these games, and I'm talking even the expansions, are amazing quality. You're never going to have to go upgrade your insert. They really put this together in a really cool way to make it so everything can fit into its place. It's well distributed, and you can even fit expansion stuff in if you got the big box. And I just think that you're having a game that is one that's going to be very standout-ish for your shelf. So for me, it's totally worth its price. Thumbs up. Your difficulty. This is not one for kids, and I don't think it's one for beginners. Not to say it's impossible, but this is a deck-building negotiation game. That is not a inviting, beginning player style game. Deck building is starting to get a little bit more widely known, so maybe it's one that you could get somebody to understand reasonably quick, but negotiation is always a bit difficult, and to throw those together is going to make a hard combo for a beginner. I do think, though, that this is right down the alley of the experts and the experienced. That's enough for me. Thumbs up. Replayability. The game's definitely replayable. You have the option for this game to get through it in a reasonable amount of time. Yes, it depends on how much you're failing, on how often you're getting hit by the dice, what you've invested in. So I could see this game really ranging from 30 minutes to 90 minutes because there are games that are going to go much longer. That being said, even with a long game, I feel like this is one that you could get back on the table within another few days. It's a fun game I can play with family and with friends, and I think that gives it so much replayability. Thumbs up. Keys to victory. What are you trying to do? Are you going to go and ask one of your competitors to join you? Are you asking two of them? Are you guaranteeing the job's success? And by doing so, you're going to get something. The difficulty is that you're helping everybody. If you're doing something like that, then this becomes one of those games that the further along you go, you're going to have to be really tight on the dead end because everybody else might be making way more points than you. So you're going to have to figure out how to be able to get multiple people to help you out and have an advantage. Or do you want to go it alone? Are you going to maybe even bypass a couple of those to get additional of your credits to build yourself up early so you can go do these jobs and never have to worry about somebody else helping you? If that's what you're after, then it becomes an interesting one because you are risking a lot more opportunity of losing, but you're getting major payout your way. But you also are taking major risks with, what if you're rolling multiple 2s on those threat dice? Do you have the shields to back you? If you're able to get everything else done and there's no shields on the card, you're going to be running into some issues. So for me, I think that there are definitely at least 2 major routes for these keys to victory. And there's going to be a lot more. It's going to require more plays to start figuring that out. But to me, I think you're going to start running into that situation of maybe you and somebody else keep partnering together to help each other out. Or maybe you always make sure to never partner with the same person twice. So you're only helping out each person once. There's so many different possibilities here. It's a game that needs to be played repetitively to keep seeing the new possibilities. So for me, thumbs up. Is the game unique? I've never seen a deck builder with negotiation. And for that to be literally its only 2 pieces, I mean, I'm sure you can go and look at this game and find other ways to define it, but those are the clear cut in 1 and 2. Like 45%, 45%. The other 10% might get mixed a bunch of things, but those are your 2 leads. And for me, that is an extremely unique mix. That's got to be a thumbs up. Overall, what do I think? I really like this game. I'm looking forward to finishing out this year and trying to get this to the table at least 10 times. I think this is a game that's going to last. I think this is a game that's going to stand out amongst the games I own, which is saying something because I have a large collection. And I've got a load of new games coming in from all the Kickstarters I've backed, and I still feel like this one might be one of like the top 3. So I'm pumped I got it early to give it some real time before October hits, when I'm going to get about 10 Kickstarters in. We'll see if even 5 of those stay on schedule, but when I get a boatload of new Kickstarters in and we start having real competitors to it for this year's new 2023 games. That being said, I highly recommend it. I think it's a game you should give a shot to. It's not going to be available in many places, but try to get it to the table, give it a try, and see what you think. Well, it has been day 313, and we've been speaking about the game Moonrakers. And you've been speaking to the Meeples Champion. Like, share, subscribe, and check down below in the description. I'll be adding in an Amazon link in case you want to get this game for your collection. And don't forget to go onto Board Game Arena and look me up under the Meeples Champion. Ask me to play a game, send me a friend request. Happy to do whatever works for you. I'm going to try to get on there once or twice a day if I can. Until next time, I'll talk to you tomorrow.